What's going on, everybody? This is Animated Santa God here, and today, what I have here is the 2008 Magic Power Talking Butler with Raven. That's what I know what he's called anyway, I I've known this. There's been so many models with this, with this guy being made. I mean, there's so many miniature ones, and there's so many rare models and ones with different voices. This I know they made one back up to 2009 where there was one that held a talking skull. I actually like that one better, but I really like this one too. Um anyway, this was sold at Kmart back in 2008 according to other people. Uh, I got this off the Facebook Marketplace for $30. Honestly, this guy works he works flawless. I mean, he has no issues with him. He's really clean and everything. He was really well taken care of. Um, this guy, I think he might have been sold at other places, but I know he was sold at Kmart. Now they've made miniature one. I know they have a original one that was sold at Michael's, and then the one that held the skull has a miniature one too. Now the miniature one that holds a skull on its tray, that was sold at Kmart too. So but the standard life size one was sold at Costco, and the miniature one with the skull, which is what I'm talking about, was sold at Kmart. So most of these guys were at Kmart. I mean, these guys were at Spirit Halloween, Halloween Express. These guys, I mean these were everywhere. Um, I have to say the quality on the butlers nowadays they're making is good, but it's just not as good as this was. I really wish that these faces looked kind of scarier and everything, and they do. I mean they look good, but this guy is actually he's 5 foot, but he's like 5'6". I mean, I'm 5'4", so he's a few inches taller than me. I mean, he's taller than the 5 foot dancing Santa. I mean, if you compare, you put them next to each other, the 5 foot dancing Santa, unless mine's really short or whatever, he goes up to his shoulder. So this guy is almost 6 foot. Um, that Raven up there is that I really like that about him. I guess the Raven. They used up 2009 instead of using the Raven, they used the skull, and they didn't have the. There's so many models. I know there's one model that was sold, I believe, at Kirkland's and other stores. That were like owned by Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Michaels, and whatever. That and they carried him, but he looked a few different. I mean, he of course he had the same mechanism and everything. He didn't he kind of looked kind of cheesy, and the voice was cheesy in him. He was kind of a cheaper model, but I mean this model, if you look on the base down there, he's got the standard. Let's see if I can zoom in on this thing. He's got the standard black flat base with the holes, I believe, are for so if you want to put them on your porch, you can nail them on there. But yeah, hang on. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I have to. I always have to do that in all my reviews. But anyway, this guy's in decent condition. I keep this room and I keep him in my room all year round because of just he looks really good in my room, and he's like a little greeter. Um, he's easy to set up. He's got poles that are basically like they're basically like the life size Santa, the Jimmy ones. If you look under his pants, they're like, I'll show you. They're basically life size Santa poles almost, and so he doesn't collapse down. But I could have swore I saw one that would collapse down, but I don't know. Maybe it was just something. But I this guy works flawlessly, and there's actually a cord, so you can choose whether his little candelabra lights up. You can actually choose, and by saying that, there's a little wire that you could plug into. It's like a little plug-in or a adapter port, a jack or whatever. You can plug it into him and makes it light up. Same goes with the bird. It just doesn't have a wire. It already once you click it in, it's already in there. That's basically how it works. One day I might take the eyes out of this guy to put LEDs in him, but I don't know. But this guy, this oh, I would say that in 2000, it makes sense because this is a 2008 model, and the one that held a skull on there was a 2009 model. So the 2009 model carried a lot of phrases, and he had a lot of scarier detail. But I guess they were carried by two different stores, and I believe 2000 about 2000 maybe 2017 they stopped making these because, well, actually no, 2018, because 2018 uh was the last model was sold at Cracker Barrel, and it looked like a freaking it was really small, looked like a witch, and it held up an LED box that said like Happy Halloween or whatever. That was the last model that was made in these, and I know they made more miniature models than they have with these guys. I mean, they made a miniature model that holds a bowl and holds a skull bowl. They hold so many kind of stuff, and there's even models that don't even have anything to hold. They just which I didn't like these models that much because they didn't hold anything. There was no purpose into the Halloween with that. It just looked like a talking old man. But but I know these guys have been sold everywhere. I mean they've been sold at so many UK stores and everything. I mean, such as Menards and probably Walmart, Kmart, of course, Sam's Club, Costco, uh, Sedanos, um, let's see, Kroger, probably Canadian Tire, Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel had a lot of them too, but Cracker Barrel, I believe, only had the they had a witch one too. I'll explain that about that here in a minute. Cracker Barrel only had two of these guys, Butler wise. Like they had the 2018 model. Now the 2017 model looked way cooler. He looked just like this, except he held a bowl and he was about the same size as the stormtrooper back there. If you could see him, he was about the same size as a 4 foot dancing Santa or a 4 footer. But they they also now the witch part. They've made witches of these too. Now nobody really liked the witch models because they were lazy. There was just a sign of magic power being lazy. I mean, if you really looked at the witches, they were it was the butler. It was just in a hat. They just threw on a dress, changed out the speaker, and they put a witch hat on it. I mean, it looked nothing like a witch, and it just didn't look the same. And I guess they realized that nobody liked them, so they went back to the butlers. This guy, he basically has a mold of the life size Santa, like the newer life size Santa I'm talking about. Like if you cannot take. Now this is a model that's pretty interesting. Now you cannot take the head out of can't take remove the head off this, which is pretty good because if I'm planning, I haven't used this guy for Halloween, so this will be his first Halloween that he's being used on the porch. And I remember having the 20 what is it 2017? It was a Kmart 2017 Pan Asian Creations Butler, and it was so cheaply made, and the head was removable, and the it was plastic. It was a bobblehead. So I remember one time the wind had knocked him over, and it had totally shattered his neck, and therefore it was just unreplaceable, unfixable, or anything. So then there went that butler. Then I've got one. I got a Pan Asian Creations butler that's way more detailed, and he's from home. He's a Home Depot model, but I couldn't use him this year because I couldn't find him in storage unit. But this guy, I believe, is way better. He's more scarier, and I just this guy is really cool, and his arms are posable too, so you can do whatever you want. I just have him like that because he looks like he's coming to get you. But without further ado, I'll show them to you. Oh yeah, and this guy has motion activated. He has sound activated, and he's got on and off and button mode, of course, chimey mode, and then that's about it. But anyway, I'll show you him.
Welcome. Please, don't be afraid of my little friend. He doesn't bite. Really? But I thought you'd given up eating flesh. Nevermore! Nevermore!
Here's the last. There's only two phrases in it.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. Nevermore! Nevermore! Quiet, please. I haven't even gotten to that part yet. Is anyone in the mood for a nice raven stew?
And since the phrases are so short, I have so much to explain about this guy. I mean, I've seen this guy at so many places. I mean, I've seen him. I mean, this guy. I keep saying this guy. I mean, I'm just used to saying that. Sorry about that, y'all. I mean, I've seen him in antique stores when he wasn't even an antique. I mean, he's still not really an antique today. I mean, he's only like, what, 13 years old? I mean, I guess you could classify that as an antique, but he's really not if you think about it. I mean, now, the reason why I really wanted this guy in the first place was because, one, how cheap he was, and two, I saw, excuse me, um, before I got this guy, a year before I got him, I went to my local antique shop, and I saw the one, and this was a model that was sold at Kmart in 2009. This was the miniature one, the 3 foot one with the talking skull. Um, I remember seeing him, and I thought, wow, that's so cool, but he's so small, and he was expensive. I mean, then I saw this, then this guy popped up, and I said, wow, I'm getting something really cheaper for this, because the one I saw at the antique store was like $100, and he still is. He's not on sale whatsoever. So one day in the future, I may go for him, but I'm gonna have to will and deal with somebody because I mean that's just too expensive for a price. But I'll do him again.
Welcome. Please, don't be afraid of my little friend. He doesn't bite. Really? But I thought you'd given up eating flesh. Nevermore! Nevermore!
I really like how the bird or the crow or raven, whatever you call it, I really like how his eyes light up and how he talks and his voice matches with it and how he flaps his wings. It just looks so realistic and scary. Anyway, here's the last phrase.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. Nevermore! Nevermore! Quiet, please. I haven't even gotten to that part yet. Is anyone in the mood for a nice raven stew?
And I'll show you what does hold the head though, and it's a good thing because it does protect it. This right here, it's being held by a spring. So if this guy falls over, it's not gonna break his head off. I mean, it might reattach it, but it's not gonna break the neck. That thing is sealed on metal. But anyway, that is the Magic Power 2008 Talking Butler with Raiden. Thanks for watching and bye.